fantastic and entertaining show this week. Yes, we said entertaining because we'll be taking you into spaces where entertainers create their music. This is the show that delivers magical elements in the spaces we live, work and play in. My name is Tim Njiru and this is The Ideal Space. Many artists dream of having a spacious and beautifully appointed art studio, but most of us would happily settle for a small craft studio space at home. Anything from a table in the basement to a spare bedroom. In the spaces we recently visited, the idea of creating spaces ideal for artists was one that we sought to decipher, and what better way than to jump into a space that most people in the music industry in Kenya call the Music Academy, popularly known to have played host to Kenya's music game show. A walk inside the house and we now can pick some ideas to share with you. One that strikes the most is you may not have the budget for top end of the line furniture or decorations, but you can give your art studio personality and flair. Here's how.
Musicians are creatures of the night, more or less. They need their sleep, they need their comfort zones, they work very, very hard. So by the time you want to sit down on a couch, the couch needs to be super comfortable. So I think the comfort zone was really the exposition. And you know, that piece of furniture that made someone else happy before, that we've refurbished and now it's going to make the next generation happy is really where we started. I wanted to create a house that is a home, and a home that fits a young 21 or 2-year-old person. And you know, at that stage of your life, you don't have a lot of means, but you want your creature comforts. And you make it your own and you live in it and you have a really good time with your friends. So it needed to be a home where our contestants could live in, be very comfortable in, but also be able to create in. So even though there was a little bit of something borrowed in there, a little bit of something old made new, a little bit of repurposing, taking stuff that meant something else when it was new and has become another thing altogether, like say car tires that have now become a seat. So it's repurposing, which is very green, by the way. Green concepts are all about taking old stuff, making it new and reusing what we've already created. And that forms a big aspect of the house as well. So because you're in a home, you're comfortable, you have the space to create and to create the music that these guys have to create.
Garden is a flash of green grass which we brought in from Limuru and we laid it down, so it's really fresh. We have a mural wall which is emulating all the different countries in the contestants, because here you have 17 contestants coming in and you have to pretty much accommodate all of them. You know, your colors are not my colors, so coming up with colors that can create a home and not make it a little too much clashing, that was a bit challenging. The things I bought then had to change again, things we put up then we had to change the colors. There's a lot of challenge in that. In the living room we have one wall which was meant to be the artist wall, so we wanted to showcase Kenyan artists, like really nice paintings. So we had one wall which was bare and we have wallpaper on the other side which looks like a brick wall.
You'll see that the dining area, and it's again in the garden, it's also a very creative space because that was repurposing old material. So a Tusker bottle became a chandelier. An old dining room table that was almost a throwaway was repurposed into what is now a very comfortable dining space with all different chairs. So you'll find, if you look carefully at the house and the detail, that someone else's junk became our purpose in a creative way.
So, to summarize, here is what should be a must for that art space you're decorating. 1. Paint the walls or a focal wall with a brighter color. 2. Add a really cool chair or a comfy lounge chair upholstered in vintage fabrics. 3. Hang a handmade banner with an inspirational word or phrase. 4. Display artwork or a friend's artwork, or what you'd call a wall of fame.
I see colors, the wonder of colors in everything.
The Fashion and Design segment, in association with Crown Paints. If you like it, crown it. Great. Is Shrinal in? Thank you. Anyway, we'll be speaking to Shrinal much later in the program, but this week I am inside the showroom for Crown Paints, and interestingly, I'm drawn towards a very, very interesting feature that they produce, which is the quartz. Come, let's see what else they have over here. Look, quartz on the floor. Now, can you have quartz in any other surface? Let's find out. Made from natural stone, the quartz or the engineered stone is mainly comprised of natural marble, stone, meal, shell, glass, and produced from advanced manufacturing systems. Marbles made with such process are safer and healthier, giving user a peace of mind, a truly green and environmentally friendly construction material. A quartz stone consists mainly of quartz crystals, 93%, processed through high temperature, high pressure, and other procedures with fine craftsmanship. The resulting product is strong, durable, heat and corrosion resistant, and leak proof. It is widely used for flooring, walls, countertops, and sink tops. This type of engineered stones are vacuum pressed with high pressure from natural raw materials. It increases the product's strength dramatically, so that some products are even stronger than natural stones. As I walked around the Crown showroom along Muthithi Road, the question on top of my mind at this point was whether quartz is cheaper than marble, and the question of maintenance popped many times. To help us understand and appreciate the essence of having quartz in your ideal space, I'll be looking for Shrinal after this. Hey!
Hi Tim, how are you?
Very fine. Just from the showroom. Very interesting to see the amount of possibilities I can do with a color and two different materials. What do we have in store for this week?
Well, today we're going to be looking at how marble and quartz, which is part of the Kalinga Stone collection from Crown, is available to the public, is available to clients for designs. We've got marble, which obviously is more suitable for flooring. It's got like a vein-like structure, which helps it to fall as patterns. And we've got the quartz, which is much stronger than the marble, and it's got a green-like finish. and it allows for bar tops, island spaces in kitchens, or also for other vanity tops. Quartz is a preference. The good thing about quartz is that it's there in these bright colors, which is what it is about in design at the moment. It's all about brightening up, bringing out the space. And quartz allows you to do that because there's options of orange, green, red, yellow, and so many more, which marble is sort of limited to. And same with granite. You don't get that wide option that you would get for quartz.
Is quartz the alternative to color?
It is another alternative to color. All depends on the type of space you're working with and what you're trying to bring out. Like you see in the space today in this kitchen, the quartz is what is the color in here because the client has decided to stick with a brilliant white for the remaining of her walls, which indirectly will really complement the selection of quartz in this location, which is the Sandy Diamante. And this quartz complements the white as well as the chocolate sort of covered veneers that they've got happening in here, along with the white laminates as well.
The question of hygiene is very key in every kitchen. How does quartz come into play?
Quartz plays the role because it is easily cleanable and it looks immaculate. When it doesn't need you to put any sort of sealant, any sort of coating on it. It's very hard to scratch it as well. Where if you have granite tops, you sometimes find that you will see the scratches depending on the darkness of the shade. With quartz, because it is strong and durable, it is long lasting as well, and its polishing requirement is minimal. You can just use a wet cloth, clean it off, and it will look as brand new.
Can I get it in different shapes?
Yes, we can provide cutting for you at Crown, depending on the design that you've got happening. You can have a curved quartz, you could have a one that is sort of mixed with a different sort of quartz together, so you can have two different styles of quartz sandwiched together to create a pattern. And there's lots of different ideas available. It depends on actually where you're using it and how you're using it.
Shrinal tells me in terms of costs, quartz is similar to many granites but less than high-end marbles. Can incorporate quartz as a feature wall?
Yes, you can incorporate quartz as a feature wall. You would just need to have a stable structure because it's very heavy. It needs to have a support. It can't. Some walls internally have MDF, which will not support a quartz as a feature. It is more feasible and it is more, workable when it is on a flat surface. So bar tops, vanity tops, countertops, kitchen islands, etc. Some people do put them as splashbacks, which is forming a feature wall, but also depends on the size of the splashback because the heaviness of the quartz will matter. It will take into consideration also the thickness, and that's what depends on how you place it, vertically or horizontally.
The ideal space in association with Classic Moldings, the home of creative interiors.
The holidays are here again, and it's that time of the year when making merry becomes a more or less a frequent engagement. Apart from appreciating one another, the key part in this season is wining and dining. For those that engage in the wining part, the bar would be the ideal space for that. Well, having a home bar could make you love your home even more, for you'll not need to drive into the city just to get a glass of wine or a bottle of beer. You can make your home the exact place for your friends to have fun. a good source of enjoyment for you, your friends, and your family.
You need to know who you want to entertain, because maybe you want to entertain when you're having a private business meeting. Maybe you bring business back home, or maybe you're meeting your uncle.
Frank says that mood lighting set under moldings provide the right ambience for entertainment.
What other moldings have you incorporated? Apart from, your regular cornices and your regular moldings.
Yeah.
What are classic moldings? What extra zaz have you added to this?
What we've done here is we wanted a very rich feel. And what we've done here, this is Caravaggio. Caravaggio is a very fine finish special paint or decorative paint, and it has a velvet touch. When you touch it, it feels more like velvet. And with velvet now running all the way around, which now we are contrasting with this grey, which is from Zefiro. And the edges now are brought in a molding, which now is able to bring back that nice white bright contrast all around the groups.
The storage area for your drinks need not be bland and boring. Decorative paints and moldings can be used to create the shelves for your wines in its right signature.
This is a Zefiro, just a nice dull color, and then we popped it out in gold, which is again art metal, and all this we've molded it with a dry wood. Then we put Decora Deluxe on the inside, all gold, it's a bit rich, and you're able to see the drinks well, right? The counter, as you can see how we molded the counter also. You can see that it has a very nice curve going all the way down. Again, here we've worked with a dry board again. And what we've put here is Zefiro, which is now a reflection of what we have at the back.
Now, is this Zefiro? Yes, it is a reflection of what you have at the back, but you see it's got a different texture.
Yeah, it's got a different texture because here it's diagonal, and on the back counter it's more freehand. This is a small bar, and you can see again the special prints all over the walls, all the way. This is Terra Distressed all through the mold. This is Caravaggio.
Very hollow.
Yeah. So because it's done on dry wood. That's why it's hollow. This is Caravaggio. It's a gold base. It's a very rich color. And contrasting this with this and the white in between,
the white cornice,
it's really elegant.
What kind of cornice is this? What kind of
It's not a cornice. We call it a cobble.
An architectural molding.
It's an architectural molding, yes. Because other than just leaving the square to just remain square like this, we accessorize it with a cobble. It gives you that finesse. Yeah. Very easy to do. So we can train you and you can do it for yourself.
Weeks back on the show, we learned how to apply the Travertino decorative paste at classic moldings.
Put the texture, which is now by dragging this across like this. See that?
This week, we got to appreciate how this effect can be used to create a mood in the spaces we love to entertain ourselves, and how a new application technique can be merged with Travertino. Introducing to you the Decora Deluxe application effect. The Decora Deluxe effect is a highly desirable material that will effortlessly inject a touch of class into any home. This paste gives a pearlescent effect, which is obtained through a combination of soft colored grains and a vast variety of pearls. The Decora Deluxe has this extraordinary beauty with special color effects, dark light interrupted by fine pearlescent, and also from the colored flakes, leaving the base transpire. These characteristics make the Decora Deluxe particularly suitable as an indispensable element of decoration in environments where the demand is refined elegance, suitable both in public places and ordinary homes. The Decora Deluxe is washable and provides good resistance to steaming water. Last week on the show, we gave you an attic space that's being converted into a bedroom. Now, this week, the story continues. Last week on the show, we established how the attic space can become that extra room in your house by showing you what normal houses in Kenya use it for. This week, we went straight into some developments that took part in our continuing series of the converted spaces of the ideal space.
Here what we're doing, we are having a bathtub here and a nice bathroom. That's what you're doing in this space. And we're yet to put some windows, some attic windows on that side and on this other side. So what we want to do now is remove this and put a proper nice window in alignment with this.
The first step after cleaning out the debris from the attic in this project was checking that the attic was in perfect architectural structure.
We've put in now the fiberglass. This is supposed to help us with the insulation so that the heat it's not transferred so much, the room doesn't become very hot. Then once you've done this insulation now, the next step after here, we want to put in now the gypsum boards, the plaster board.
What we pick from this attic space is that they were keen on using the breathable roof underlay that took them a very short time to lay it compared to the regular roof underlays that are popular in East Africa. The client was convinced that the Eurotop N35 roof underlay, which we had earlier aired on our show, was the ideal for that. The next step was getting the fiberglass insulation in check. Roof insulation is ideal. Roof insulation is an ideal way to prevent unwanted heat penetration from the outside of the building. By treating the roof with an insulating material, one can be assured of reducing the amount of the sun's radiant heat that penetrate in very hot conditions up to 97% and also render better thermal protection in colder situations.
Especially in the UK, they don't really seem like they're in the roof, they're just sort of just below the roof, and then so it could be like another story, but in the roof they would have really small windows, usually like low down, so usually about this level, and that's like to keep air going through, so then the heat can escape from the house but also air can come back through. And then you still have all this insulation that usually we would have another wall, and then people would use the room as like storage or another bedroom or office, and then there would be a space inside the wall where people would then store it inside the walls, like store all of their.
After airing the first part of the story last week, this particular attic space started attracting some ideas on how or what can be put as the final product.
For a room like this, because it's very spacious, you could use it for quite a lot. You could either use it for another sort of like a games room, or like another sort of lounge, just a sort of chill area. But an office would be nice because you've got this nice window with the view, so you could have like the desk here, then you've got a lot of outside scenery. Mostly probably an office really, because it's got like the light, it's got good lighting for it, and it's spacious. But you wouldn't want to do too much because the walls get the ceiling's quite low. But mostly if it was going to base it on UK, it would be an office or convert it to a bedroom later.
Just to sum it up, those have been very, very interesting things we've picked up on this week's edition of The Ideal Space. You know, you've got your quartz finish, bar ideas that you can incorporate in your space, and finally, that attic we've seen a couple of minutes ago. My name is Tim Njiru, winding up this week's edition of The Ideal Space. Right, to us, share your comments, suggestions, and thoughts that you might want to incorporate on the show. The question begs, how ideal is your space? Bye for now.